have some hair over here, like all over, and also like down. So this is the final look. Here they are. I think they look pretty decent if you ask me. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alexis Nicole, and in today's video I am completely barefaced because we're gonna be focusing on these brows. Like, do you guys see these brows? I haven't touched them up in about, I would say, 2.5 weeks. Let's go to a little backstory of my brow history. So I've always done my own brows. Well, not always. I actually had like a threading place that I used to go to, but unfortunately the lady that used to thread my brows, she passed away. So after that, I didn't want to trust just anyone, so I started practicing on my own, and I've been doing my own brows now for the past, I will say, at least 3 years, and I like how I do them personally. So I just want to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to make your eyebrows like look like if you went to get them done professionally, but do them on your own. Like, save yourself some coins, okay? So I always make sure that I have like a little brow brush. So I use this one right here to comb up my brows. These are the scissors that I use to cut up the hair. A handy dandy tweezer, this tweezer right here. You're also gonna need a brow gel, so when you're done, because that's what's gonna help you get that laminated effect. This brow gel is the one that I use. It's very affordable. I believe this is from like Dollar Tree or something like that, so it's very, very cheap. Then you're also gonna need a brow pencil. I specifically like to use a thin brow pencil when I'm lining out my brows. I'll show you why when we get into the tutorial, but I use a thin brow pencil like this when I'm lining out my brows and I want to fill them in. I fill them in with this eyebrow pencil. This has been my holy grail for so many years. This is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil in the color medium brown. This is amazing. So I'm gonna flip the camera now where you can see my brows. So I just want to give you some before. Like, you can see specifically, like, you'll see I have some hair over here, like all over, and also like down here. And I always have a problem in which one brow, like this one up here, never like really grows hair, and then this one grows way too much, as you can see. So we're gonna make these look like sisters, not twins, because you know eyebrows are not meant to be twins. They're meant to be sisters, or maybe even cousins, but we're gonna make them look good. So let's get to it. So I zoomed in a little bit, and what I wanted to tell you lastly is that you're gonna need a little mirror. So this is the mirror that I use right here. It's just a mirror. It doesn't have to be like a magnifying mirror or anything like that, just a little mirror. And basically what I'm gonna start off by doing is, my eyebrow hairs up, so I'm just gonna brush them up like in the same direction that they grow pretty much. So I'm brushing them up completely, and that gives you like a better view at the hair that you have like right underneath, so I can see like what's going on under here and also under here, like what I need to take out. Okay, next I'm gonna line them with the thin eyebrow pencil, as I told you before. So I'm basically gonna trace my eyebrows. Okay, so I hope you can see that line, like where I did it. So pretty much I want my eyebrows to go from like here. Sorry if I'm looking over here because I have a mirror behind too, so I can see what I'm doing, because I don't have a viewfinder on this camera. So I can look, like basically I want my eyebrows to go here and also here, all the way to the very end over here, and same over here. So I'm gonna take off all the little hairs underneath it on each side. Now I'm just gonna start tweezing it. The top, I don't really mess with it too much. I'll show you what I do at the very end with the top, but I usually don't mess with my top hairs too much. Now I'm gonna begin the tweezing process. So I like to start with the one that doesn't have too much hair, which is always this one. This one never has too much hair, and I'm just gonna start tweezing it. Typically I usually have both hands available, of course, whenever I'm not recording, and in that case I usually hold my brow like this and tweeze it, because it kind of pulls the skin and makes it less painful. That's a little tip when you're tweezing your eyebrows, because boy oh boy, this can hurt. Okay, so we're making progress with this brow. I basically tweezed all the under hairs, and now I'm just gonna touch up just a little bit on the top. I don't know if you can see, like right around here I have like a little bit of hair, so I'm gonna touch up just about there, just a little bit. I just basically just skim over the top of the brow, that's all. I don't want to mess with this spot, because as I mentioned, this spot also always has like a little bit less hair, so I don't really touch that too much. Okay, now we're gonna move on to this brow. This brow is always the more difficult one. We'll see how that goes. So let's see how I'm gonna start tweezing from the bottom, and then the middle I kind of already tweezed a little bit, but I'm gonna continue touching it up. I don't know if I'm the only one that sneezes while I'm tweezing my eyebrows. Like, there's something about pulling out the hair that makes me sneeze each and every time. It never fails. Okay, so as you can see, this one is completely cleaned up in the bottom as well. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on this one, where I just like glance over the top, and I'm gonna do that on this one now. And then you see these hairs right here. These are the ones I was talking about, like the ones at the very top. So now I brushed those up completely. I'm gonna brush up actually my whole brow. So I'm just gonna brush it up like this and like this, just like so. And now I'm gonna cut. So when you're cutting, you want to make sure that you don't cut like down, you know. You need to cut like in the same angle of your brow. So I just cut very little bit like this, like that's it. A little bit up here. This is the brow that, you know, doesn't have too much hair, so we're not gonna mess with it too much. And that's about it for that brow. Now we're gonna move on to this one. I always have to cut like right here in the front, because you see how long those hairs are. So I have to cut right at the very beginning. So I'm gonna cut right here. To me, this is the prettier brow as well. So I cut just like that. I just tap it. I don't like to go too much. That looks good. And now I'm just gonna see, as you can see, this one doesn't really have too much hair there. So honestly, I'm not even touching anything. It's just the top that really needed to be cut, like this part right there. So now that my brows are like fully tweezed, I just take a look at them again, and now I wipe off the bottom line. Now is the part where we're gonna fill them in, and then we're also gonna clean them up with concealer and brush them up so they can give that laminated effect. So these are my brows completely with no makeup whatsoever, and now we're gonna fill them in to make them look a little bit more alike. So let me start filling them in. For the filling them in process, I'm gonna use the thicker eyebrow pencil, and I just follow the same shape of my brow. The only one I have to tweak a little bit is always this one right at the beginning, but I basically follow the same shape. I'm gonna show you how I do it. I always begin at the very bottom of the brow and just follow the shape of it, and light strokes, because you don't want it to come out too dark, you know. And this brown is already dark to begin with, so you don't want it to be too dark. So I do something like that, and right here I just comb it up, comb it up, comb it up, straight up like so, just like that. And then the top, now you just gotta, with light strokes, just follow the same shape of your brow. Trust the process. I'm still gonna clean this one up on the top. I know how. And don't forget, like, you're seeing me up close and personal, like with a whole eye makeup look and everything. Of course it doesn't look like this, but I don't like to, you see how I fill them up just a little bit over like where my brow ends, because I feel like if I keep it to the same shape of my brow looks too thin, and then it really doesn't add up to this one. So like that, at least they look a little bit more alike. So don't judge me, trust the process. Watch, I'm gonna start this one now. This is the difficult one, I'm telling you. Now I know this brow looks a little bit boxy, especially like right here in the front, but once again, I'm gonna clear that all up. Watch, once I clean them up. It's just that it's so hard to shade that one in the front without making it look boxy like that. Oh my gosh, that looks really, really square. Now we're gonna fix that. Brows are not done yet. Now what we're gonna do is that we're gonna comb them up. I'm gonna comb them up using this little brush right here, just to kind of make it blend all together. Just like that. Yeah, that looks much better. You know, when you look at it, it looks much better like that. See, they're looking a little bit more alike. I had to go in with this thin pencil too, because the thick one wasn't doing it on its own. So sometimes you have to use both pencils. Okay, I think that's looking okay right now. You see how I'm brushing up the hair? That's how you get it to get that laminated effect. When you're brushing up your hair, you want to make sure that you're doing it with a pretty dense eyebrow brush. Like this one is a new eyebrow brush, so it's actually like really combing up the hair. So I'm just combing them up to their same shape. You see how cute that looks? Like, I just like how that looks. Look how they look. And now let's do the same with this one. Just like so. Now we're gonna add some concealer to clean up like any of the mess that we have going on here. So for concealer, I'm using the Shape Tape, what is this, double duty Tarte Shape Tape concealer. So I'm just gonna go very lightly around my brow. You don't want to mess up what you've done, so you gotta be very careful. Just like that. I don't do too much. I know some people like to really clean up their brows intensely. Not me. And I take whatever is left on my brush, and basically, you see how I'm doing it, just use it to continue, just to clean it up. And now I'm just gonna blend it out. So let's blend it away. It's like this. It's just about cleaning up your brows, nothing else. And being that we didn't have such a disaster going on, it's not that much that needs to be cleaned. Now you want to set your brows. So I'm gonna set them using this powder I have right here. This is the same powder that I use like after I put on concealer under my under eyes. This is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless setting powder. So I'm just gonna use a little small brush, and I'm just gonna use that to set the concealer part. It's like where I put the concealer. So tap it off. We don't want too much to go all over, and just press it on to right where you put the concealer. It's not really much to set, you just want to set that area. So we're doing it like that, just like this and like this. Pretty much set. So I'm just gonna use the brow gel just to keep them in place. So we're just gonna comb them, and we're gonna comb them up because that's what's gonna keep them with that laminated effect. So we're gonna comb them up. We want them to look nice and wispy. Okay, just like that. You see how cute that looks? Now we're gonna do the same thing with this one. Comb it up, and here we go. I think they look really good compared to when we first started with this video. You guys can see, you've seen the before and the after, and this is the after, and I think they look pretty decent if I say so myself. Like I said, they're never gonna be twins, but at least they're sisters, right? But let me zoom out so you guys can get a better view of my brows. Okay, so there you have it. This is my eyebrow tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I hope you found some of these tips helpful. If you're like me and you do your brows at home, I hope you learned at least one thing from this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. So this is the final look. Here they are. I think they look pretty decent if you ask me.